If I can go back to the very beginning of my GLP-1 journey, knowing what I know now, both as a physician and someone who's lost over 150 pounds, there are a bunch of things I do completely differently. Some of these are mistakes I made myself, and others are things I've seen over and over again in my patients. If you're just getting started on Ozempic or Mounjaro, this could literally save you months of frustration and bad advice. So grab a notepad, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do before you even take your first shot. Number one, start with a DEXA scan and baseline labs. It's true when they say that doctors make the worst patients, because prior to taking control of my health and losing weight, I refused to go to a doctor because I honestly didn't want to hear the truth. I knew I had severe high blood pressure, sleep apnea, prediabetes, and the list keeps going on, but I didn't want to face reality. So what would I do differently? The first thing I do differently is that I would start with data. When I began, I only tracked my weight. But weight doesn't tell you what you're losing, right? Is it fat, is it muscle, or is it water? A DEXA scan, on the other hand, it gives you your body fat percentage, lean muscle mass, and visceral fat percentage. Combine that with basic labs like an A1C, fasting insulin level, lipid panel, thyroid function, and you'll have a great starting point to gauge your metabolic health and how it's changing throughout your journey. You can't improve what you don't measure. I tell my patients all the time that it's not just about a number on the scale, and I truly mean that because that's what I was focused on. I tell them that it's always about your overall metabolic profile and the numbers that you can't always see. I recommend getting labs at least every 3 to 6 months to track your progress, and a DEXA scan every 2 to 3 months to monitor your lean muscle mass and your body fat ratio. Number two, prioritize resistance training. I made a video on this separately, I think early on in one of my 20 videos that I have, but the second thing I do differently is I would start resistance training from day one. When GLP-1 suppress appetite, you naturally eat less, but that also means your body can start breaking down muscle for energy. It's not smart enough to know, hey, we just need to break down fat. It looks for anything around it to use as energy, and muscle is one of those sources. When I first started getting back into the gym, I was self-conscious of how little weight I could lift compared to other people around me, so I stuck with cardio 4 to 5 times a week. This plus a severe calorie deficit ate away at my muscle mass, and I'm still working to this day on rebuilding it. Don't be like me. Hit the weights from day one. Even 2 to 3 days a week is enough to help preserve lean muscle mass. Number three, prioritize protein intake. Next, I make protein a non-negotiable and prioritize my protein intake. Early on, I made the mistake of letting my appetite suppression dictate my nutrition. I barely ate, and when I did eat, I just grabbed something quick and easy like a peanut butter sandwich or a granola bar, because in my head, it was less calories and that meant I lost weight faster, right? But guess what? I lost muscle, not just fat. Protein is essential for maintaining lean muscle mass, supporting hair growth, and stabilizing insulin levels. There's no concrete rule, but I usually tell my patients to aim for roughly 1 gram or 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. I tell them to usually aim for a set number of 120 grams to 140 grams a day, just because it's easier for them to keep in mind. Next, I wish I had a side effect plan from day one. The nausea, the constipation, the fatigue, they're predictable and they're completely manageable if you plan ahead. I would keep magnesium citrate or some sort of Miralax for constipation, ginger or peppermint tea for nausea, and I'd make sure hydration and electrolytes were a priority. Most people wait until they feel miserable to treat the side effects, but prevention is much, much easier than correction. Next, I'd focus on less thinking and more doing. Don't wait until you lose weight first mentality. This one hits really close to home because it's something I really struggled with, honestly. Early in my journey, I kept telling myself I'll start going to the gym once I lose the first 30 pounds, or I'd spend hours researching the perfect chest or back workout only to later fall asleep on the couch and not even step foot in the gym. And that was a huge mistake. The process of lifting, eating right, and building habits is what makes the transformation sustainable. No amount of research or preparation is going to make this change for you. What I've noticed is my patients who win long-term aren't the ones that wait to be perfect. They're the ones that start imperfectly and adjust along the way. They take feedback, they look at their data and numbers and make adjustments. Next is don't stack too early. Layer over time. And this is mostly for my viewers who are on other peptides or thinking about incorporating other peptides into their weight loss or longevity journeys. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made early on was incorporating multiple peptides at the same time while pretty new to my GLP-1 journey. This makes it hard for me to tell, is it the GLP-1 that's helping me with my weight loss? Or is it the tesamorelin or ipamorelin, or maybe the BPC 157 or the TP 500. I had all these compounds inside of my body at once, but I was losing weight. I just didn't know what was causing it. So listen, start with one variable, Master your dose and understand your body's response and layer in additional therapies. For instance, wait until you're on a consistent GLP-1 dose for more than 2 to 3 months before adding in other weight loss peptides. That way you know exactly which compound is doing what. There's no guessing, and you could slowly add in and remove peptides as needed, especially if they're ineffective. Last but not least, I'd make sure I address body dysmorphia much earlier on in my journey. I don't feel like this is talked about enough, but losing weight doesn't automatically fix the way you see yourself. I still struggle to unsee the 350-pound me. I'll walk through a grocery store aisle and have flashbacks to the unhealthy foods that I used to buy just to binge on. Even looking in the mirror feels surreal sometimes. You can lose 80 pounds and still feel like the same person in the mirror. That disconnect can lead to anxiety, self-sabotage, and obsession over the scale, which it did for me. And all I cared about was seeing a smaller and smaller number every time I stepped on the scale. This is still something I'm working on, so I truly can't give the best advice, but a lot of my patients who've had success with this problem usually recommend therapy, journaling, or mindfulness, because transformation isn't just physical, it's psychological. You know, when I look back on this GLP-1 journey, I realized it wasn't just about losing weight. It truly was about rebuilding my connection with myself and my love for myself. You know, these 7 things that I've just shared with you, they're not strategies. They're reminders that the process is about healing and not punishment. It's about adapting and making sure that you change along with your body. If you're just starting out, give yourself grace. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to start. One habit, one meal, one injection, one small win at a time is all it takes, because time keeps going on, and that's what people forget about. And even on the hard days, the days you feel like the scale isn't moving or you're craving something unhealthy, remember that your body is still changing, your metabolism is changing, and your life is truly changing. I promise that if you stay consistent and lead with self-compassion, you will look back 2 years from now and not even recognize the person you used to be. You know, just start. Because I promise that this medication is life-changing. This journey will be hard, but you will be forever grateful. So good luck on your journey.